Well, hey, mamas. Hello, hello. We are back for a video all about high school. We are talking about preparation. We're talking about this idea of awareness, this maybe idea of some investigating that your teen needs to do to make sure he or she is ready for that first year of high school. Now, I'm curious. We're going to talk about school tours here in a minute. We're going to talk about all of those policies like dress code that your teen needs to know before starting high school. But I'm curious, does your teen feel ready? For all of my mamas that are watching that have an about to be high schooler, does your child feel like he or she, knows what's going on, knows what to expect, and feels comfortable about day one? I want to know down below on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being, yeah, my teen not ready, 5 being, oh yeah, my teen is feeling comfortable. This is going to be so easy. No worries about freshman year at all. Now, before we dive into this, do know if you're a 1 with your teen feeling ready for high school, and especially if you're feeling like a 1 when it comes to your teen's study skills, would love to talk to you, would love to talk to your teen. There's a link in the description for us to schedule a chat. But let's talk about what your teen needs to do to really feel ready for freshman year. What are some of these policies, these awareness components that are really important for your teen? Number 1 is a school tour, or an open house. We want your child to know what is where. Okay, if your child has yet to step foot in the high school he or she's about to be part of, we want to take care of that as soon as possible. Okay, a lot of middle schoolers, a lot of 8th graders, they get to take a tour of the high school, during school 8th grade year. But if your child is transferring to a new school, or maybe your child's school didn't do that for whatever reason, this is a problem. Okay, so definitely have your teen tour the school. Now, mom, you can easily go. I would recommend that if it's an open house, that you definitely go together, because the point of an open house is for you to kind of put some names to faces, and it's also not some chance for your teen to kind of show off maybe a little bit. Ooh, I'm going to have class here. Or, oh, this is something I'm excited about. Okay, but even if it's just a school tour, we want your teens to know, okay, these are the freshman lockers, or, oh, most of the time this is, these are the 3 classes. This is like the algebra 1 class. This is the English 1 class, stuff like that. Okay. Now, not only are we talking about the physical stuff, this is where the bathroom is, or this is, where the gym is, or this is where you're going to come into the building every day, or, this is the section of the school where you're going to find your locker. Okay. We also want your teen to have some idea what a schedule is. Okay. Again, this depends on the school district. This depends on, what actually is provided, but there's a good chance your teen could already know what a schedule is this summer. Okay. If your child's uber prepared like me, might want to know, okay, what electives did I actually get into? What math class am I taking? Your teen might want to know some of these things. They maybe even reach out to some of the teachers, or, talk to other people, whether it's siblings or other high schoolers that have already had this teacher, that have already had this class, to kind of get a feel for what to expect. Okay, so definitely if your teen doesn't have a schedule yet, and doesn't even fill out like a registration thing, didn't fill out like I'm interested in class, because that should have happened most likely, depending on your district, before the end of the school year. And I know we're, pretty much end of June here. So I'm assuming most of you out there, your kiddos are done with the school year. If not, maybe some of these things are still being worked out. But do know a lot of times, at least here in the Midwest, when we're done, mid-May, and then we go mid-August, generally the school district, district office, things close down in July. So definitely these next couple days are the most important days to try to take care of some of these things, get these questions answered, kind of be aware of these policies, maybe take this tour before everyone kind of wraps things up until the new school year officially starts. Okay. So I have a couple more thoughts here on what are some of those policies your teen needs to be aware of, some of these other pieces that your teen might want to do some investigating about to make sure that first day of school is super easy, let alone the whole freshman year. Before I do, I want to say thank you for watching here on Facebook. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Be sure to follow, be sure to subscribe, because there will be another tip for you to help your teen get ready for freshman year of high school. And do also know, if we haven't met, I'm Jessyka Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring, and I help teens love to learn by teaching them how to learn. So definitely, if you're watching this and your teen needs some help with study skills, that's what I'm all about. And I love talking school. I love talking teens. I love talking learning. All right. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but do know that a perfect way for a teen to kind of get his feet wet, to really kind of learn about the school, maybe, more from a student's perspective, would be talking to siblings, talking to older friends, talking to students that just graduated from that high school. So definitely those are a perfect opportunity for your teen to really learn about the school without actually attending the school. Okay. And again, this kind of goes down to your teen's comfort level. If your teen, wants to know every little thing possible about the school before starting, that was me. But maybe your child is more, hey, I've got a good friend. I know it's going to be with me next year. I'm not worried. Maybe your teen, is just to go with the flow. That's okay too. But no matter what, these other high schoolers can be an awesome insider. Okay, because yeah, your teen can talk to the teachers, can hopefully go on these tours, really get like a feel for things and kind of learn more for himself. But really having someone to kind of, pick brains about makes life easier. Okay. Last thing I want to mention, and I said this in the very, very beginning here, is the dress code. Okay. I have seen this at a lot of schools, especially when I've substitute taught, let alone when I was a para, and again, with students I tutor. It's not at all uncommon for the dress code at middle school to be very different than the high school, like to the point of there might be a uniform in elementary and middle school, but not at the high school. Or it could also be that, high school's way looser with how short the shorts are or what straps are required, not required. Or it could be the exact opposite, that because we are getting older and maybe, it's an all-girls school at the middle school, whatever, or if we add in the private school component, the religious component, all these other options happening. Do know, I want your teen to be aware of, what do I actually show up to school? What am I allowed to wear? Because some of those graphic tees, it depends on the principal. Sometimes they're right there on the border, and if you know what they mean, it's not good. But if your teen just thinks it's a cool picture, no big deal. Depends on the school. So definitely something I would encourage. And do also know, you and I might know that spirit days, those fun days with the crazy hair, or, getting to wear hats, or, certain clothes, whatever. Your teen might want to know, does my school do those things or not? Okay, because pretty much during homecoming week, it's a guarantee. So maybe that's something your teen will look forward to freshman year, because generally spirit days are more fun in high school, because you come with pep rallies and all those other things that can be a lot of fun. But again, maybe your teen, isn't used to that and might want to know about it. Okay, so definitely encourage the idea of the dress codes, because that's something should be easily found on the website, and it's probably found like in the student handbook. But just know maybe your teen doesn't know what that is, and before you spend a lot of money on new clothes and new school supplies for high school, be aware of some of those policies. So I think that's what I want to say, just on this idea of awareness is key, and helping your teen kind of be that sleuth to find out more about what's high school, what that freshman year especially, it's going to be like, because there's probably going to be a lot of differences, a lot of changes from middle school. So I'll see you tomorrow for the last video in this series. Then we'll jump back to Weird Al, because if you caught, what was it, a couple weeks ago now, did a couple videos on that, but there's still so much more we can talk about Weird Al. But if you've got questions about summer learning, or you've got questions about high school, do know you are welcome to drop them down below, and hopefully I'll see them here live. If not, definitely we'll catch up, follow up with those in a comment or even the next live. And do also know that link is in the description for you to schedule a free talk with Jessy. So you, me, your teen, let's talk about school. Let's talk about your teen study skills and see what's going really well and what you want to see more of this upcoming year. And let's also, have maybe a be real moment here, because high school, those grades count from day one. So if your teen doesn't do homework, your teen doesn't see the value of studying, doesn't like school at all, or somewhere in between, we want to fix that before we see that first semester grade and go, oh, that didn't go well, because unfortunately, high school, the grades are pretty much set in stone. So book that call, choose a day, a time that works best for you, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much for watching, mamas. See you tomorrow.